welcome back to more discussing farm engage units. So, last time basically finished off the Firene characters, because yeah, we did talk about Seadall last time. So, now I'm going to be going on to the so-called independents. Basically, these units aren't really aligned with anyone, they're kind of their own thing, basically. And there's like one unit for each of the 4 main regions, actually, so yeah. Yeah, let's just get on with it now. So yeah, we're going to be starting off with Yunaka, who's the independent unit from Brodia, actually. So, let's talk about her as a unit. So, in a starting map, she does actually put in a lot of work. She's given the Micaiah ring for that map, which she can use to good effect, because she does have immense stuff on her, so yeah, she can make good use of that on the map. And of course, she can use Shine to light things up for you, and also use Great Sacrifice. So yeah. She puts in a good amount of work on that, but also shows off her really good weapon type actually, the daggers. So there's basically 2 types of these. I guess I'll mention who can use daggers basically. Of course thieves like her can use them, but also wolf knights can and are pretty good because of it. And so can the enchanter class, but anyway. But yeah, like I said, the 2 main classes though that use these are thief and wolf knight. So I feel like thief is mostly kind of a support thing because yeah, while the daggers can be quite strong, one of their main uses is that they poison. How poison works is that if you attack an enemy with a dagger and you're able to damage them, then they'll get poisoned, and that adds 1 damage to further attacks on that enemy. And then this poison can stack. Another stack of it will increase the damage by 3, and then third and final stack will increase the damage by 5. So yeah, you can stack up a lot of damage with debuffing the enemy with the daggers, and yeah, Yunaka is definitely fit for doing that. I guess the only issue is not being able to do damage sometimes, because her strength, while it does have a good base, it is on the low end, but there is one very good thing about daggers though, is that they're very powerful and forged. Like, each level of a dagger will give it like +2 might or something like that. So yeah, daggers are very potent when forged, which is very, very nice. So yeah, they're quite good because of that. So yeah, like I said, yeah, knives are just actually a really good weapon type. And yeah, there's 2 types basically. The iron, steel, and silver daggers, they can be thrown. They have 1 to 2 range, but there's also another type of dagger, the knives, I guess. I think they're knives. There's like I think it's the card, the stiletto, and the peshkat. It only has 1 range, but it has a higher crit rate, and the higher crit rate can make a difference with Yunaka. So yeah, we'll definitely think about that. So yeah. And of course, there are some S-rank daggers too that can't fit into the equation, but yeah, we don't really need to talk about them here because of how late you get them, but oh well. But yeah, Yunaka can use them at base because she does have S-rank and daggers. These don't promote in this game. I guess that's another weird thing about them, so yeah. So I guess we could talk about that now. Yeah, these don't promote, but they are a pretty good class actually. Of course, they can I guess I should mention, yeah, because they don't promote, I think they just level up to level 40, and then yeah, that's it. And yeah, they normally have a good dagger rank, obviously, that's the only thing they can use. So yeah. So that's basically how they work, and they are a covert type, and they can be used to open chests, obviously. And yeah, that's something you can definitely have Yunaka do, if, you know, you don't want to fight with her. But yeah, she can definitely fight decently well if you put the effort into her. So yeah. So let's talk about using Yunaka now. So of course, if you're going to use her, I do recommend playing around with her personal skill and also how good knives are when forged. So yeah, her personal skill is one that a lot of people remember because it's actually pretty good. Train to kill. So basically, if she's on defensive terrain, that gives an avoid bonus. That's important. You get a 15 crit boost, so yeah. That also means that, yeah, if you are going to give engraves to the daggers that she's using, you may want to consider ones that can crit. because then you can stack up the crit. And of course, you could also use the high crit knives that I mentioned too, like the card and the stiletto and stuff like that as well. So yeah, but yeah, Train to Kill is actually pretty good. It's a pretty good personal skill because you can play around it, and Yunaka could definitely do that well with one of her best with one of her easier to use emblem combinations, I guess you could say. But yeah, we'll talk about growth rates now, and then we'll talk about that synergy. So yeah, as a thief, she has 55 HP, 45 strength, 25 magic, 60 dex, 60 speed, 30 defense, 50 res, 40 luck, and 5 build. So yeah, pretty solid growth rates. And her base stats aren't too bad either. She has 8 strength and 12 speed, which isn't too bad. And she isn't super frail either. She does have 25 HP and 9 defense, so yeah. For a thief, those aren't too bad to be honest. But yeah, she does... her base stats, I will say, if you aren't using her too much in the beginning of the game, then yeah, the other thief you get later will probably be easier to use because he actually has some really good base stats actually, so yeah. That's just something to consider when deciding what thief you want to focus on. But anyway, let's talk about the emblems because of course there's one combination that a lot of people think about when it comes to Yunaka, and that is Corrin. So with a covert, Corrin can basically make this fog that surrounds the user. This build is called the Fog Machine build, basically. So yeah, you use the thief, in this case Yunaka, they set up the fog with the Dragon Fane, and then yeah, they'll have tons of avoid because yeah, if you don't remember, the covert, coverts basically double their avoid in terrain that gives avoid. So yeah, of course, she's gonna have so much avoid. It can be pissed by mystical units, but Yunaka will be fine, especially if she has Corrin, because Corrin gives a lot of HP. And also res is good too, so yeah. Mages are gonna also not like this either. Even if, yeah, they're mystical and they can basically dodge it. Dodge the avoid bonus, so yeah. And yeah, of course, because you're putting on or avoid boosting terrain, she gets one crit too, so yeah. It's a very easy and simple build to use, and yeah, most of the time enemies aren't gonna have hit on her. So on the lowest two difficulties, yeah, she's pretty dominant because of that. Of course, the other thief can mimic this build, and they're also pretty good at it too, so yeah, again, it's up to you. On Manding mode, this build is a bit harder to recommend. Enemies ignore you if they can't hit you, so yeah. So you need to be a little bit careful with that. You can probably manipulate it so that they can target her while in the fog or something like that, but yeah, again, it is more difficult to use, so you need to be very careful with using Yunaka at the higher difficulties. But yeah, that's really it. So yeah, if you want to use in other classes, there is an issue though. You need to get to level 21, and she starts at level 6. So yeah, you're going to be 15 levels as a thief before you're able to reclass. So the other thief doesn't have to wait as long because of his higher starting level. The other class you can consider, I have seen like Wolf Knight, and yeah, looking at her stats, I think she's kind of similar to the pre-promoted Wolf Knight in terms of stats. So if you want like a different take on that, more of like a growth unit kind of thing, from that like Wolf Knight, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fun. And yeah, her magic is also not too bad either, so she could try using like a 11 sword at it too, so yeah, that could be a lot of fun as well. So yeah. But other than that though, I don't really know what else you could use her with. To be honest, you could definitely have some fun with like Warrior or something like that. She does have the stats to make Warrior work quite well, so yeah. You could try having some fun with that as well. But yeah, I feel like most of the time she's going to be using her Thief class, or maybe a Wolf Knight if you want to change things up. But yeah, like I said though, it is a little bit hard to reclass her, so yeah, she is probably going to spend most of her time as a Thief, so yeah, that's something good to remember. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else we could do emblem-wise. Of course, Micaiah isn't a bad choice to be honest, because yeah, she can act as like a pretty good support unit. Especially because yeah, Micaiah does give her A rank in stars eventually with the cleric skills, so yeah, you can definitely do that. She does have some magic growth too, so yeah, it isn't completely useless. But yeah, again, I feel like Corrin's just the way to go. But yeah, you can obviously use someone else to boost the damage too. I'll admit, it is a little bit difficult to boost the damage with the Fog Machine build because it's mostly an enemy phase build, and the only way to boost damage like easily is through the player phase, like with Lunar Brace and stuff. So you might want to consider like a Strength Plus skill in that case, or like Roy. So yeah. But yeah, overall though, yeah, Yunaka is a fun unit to use, especially on the lower difficulties, because yeah, like I said, the Fog Machine build does make a lot of maps pretty brainless when you don't have to worry at all about enemies hitting you, so yeah, that definitely makes it pretty good. But again, the other thief can do that just fine, so yeah. And yeah, I feel like he's a bit easier to use just because he has the base stat advantage, but he's also a little bit more flexible too because it takes long to or short to reclass him, I mean. But yeah, again, if you really like Yunaka though, she isn't horribly, but she is not like a bad unit to usable. She is not too, it is pretty simple to get her online and stuff. You'll find a way to do it. And yeah, there are definitely a lot of ways to make use of her as well, so yeah. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, Thief, that's what, I feel like that's what she was made to do, and again, it is a little bit hard to reclass her, so yeah, that's why I think Thief is probably what most people are going to focus on to, so yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the character, because yeah, it's actually really good. Yunaka is a very interesting one, because yeah, she seems like this very carefree, like, very happy person, and she also gets at some weird hobbies too, that do lead to some interesting scenarios, like she likes to imitate people too, with her acting, and yeah, that actually catches the attention of Seadall, and then Seadall wants to put her in the, in like a play or something like that. At first she kind of refuses because that means getting in front of people, and she's a bit worried about that, but then over time, yeah, she agrees to it, and then yeah, things go quite well with that, so yeah. So yeah, that's one thing that comes to mind, and yeah. Another thing too that comes to mind too is that yeah, a lot of people also think that she's hiding something, and yeah, that's a big thing. Like yeah, I think Zelkov realizes that there's something up with her. Citrine thinks there's something up with her too, and yeah, that obviously relates to her backstory too, which yeah, before you do the Elite support, the S4 Elite basically covers basically everything. Yeah, you need to get an S support, but I think it's justified to be honest, but yeah. Yeah, one interesting support is Goldmary actually. She's actually scared to wash dishes because it reminds her of her past and it traumatizes her basically, but yeah, she acts like Goldmary and then things go a lot better for her because of that. And then of course there's Citrine too, that comes to mind as well. Yeah, Citrine thinks that she is plotting something in the sea support. It's actually pretty I don't know. Yeah, Citrine really like interrogated her and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting. I can't remember how the rest of the support go, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting one from what I remember. That sea support was very memorable. Did I already mention like a goofy side? Yeah, she does have kind of a goofy side, some sorts like the Alfred one. Like how it starts, so yeah. But I think I blame Alfred a little bit for it, so yeah. Let's go back onto the serious stuff though, so yeah. And yeah, Zelkov thinks that yeah, both of them are quite similar as well. Zelkov does indeed have a pretty similar backstory to Yunaka, so yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, let's go on to it now. So yeah, Yunaka used to be an assassin, and also went by a completely different name as well, and you only know that name if you get the S support with her. And yeah, she lived quite the horrible life, from what we can tell. She really doesn't like the person she used to be. She used to be an assassin as well. So yeah, basically after she was done with that, she decided to leave that life behind and then start acting like a more free person. Basically, yeah, she basically hid behind that personality with how she acts nowadays, like being the lovable, cheery person that she is, saying hi papaya and all that, so yeah. But yeah, you can see that darker side of her come out though, like her crit quotes and also her engage attack quotes too. she has a much different voice, and yeah, I had to credit Laura Post though. One of the best voice actors in this game, to be honest. She did an amazing job with Yunaka, showing off both her happy side and her darker side. But yeah, now I guess is the time you can reveal her name. So yeah, in the S support, she reveals to Alir that she used to be called Larimar. That was her name. That was her name when she was an assassin. And yeah. And like I said, she did live a very rough life. That Golden Race support kind of gives a taste of that. If she got traumatized by just like doing dishes and stuff, then yeah, that just shows how bad her life was. Right there. And then yeah, there's also the Ete support where it looks like Ete's trying to interrogate her, but Ete knows how her body is. And yeah, it does go to show that yeah, she was it's a very well developed body, so yeah, it definitely shows that yeah, she was, you know, it makes sense why she'd be an assassin with a body like that, basically. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, she's a very fascinating character, to be honest. Yeah. Like, characters had to go through hell in their old life. Yeah, we have seen that before, but like Jafar. Jafar's actually pretty similar. Because, yeah, he was also like an assassin with an extremely dark past, but yeah, and he moved on from it. But Yunaka's also a really interesting take on it. And yeah, that's why I feel like she's a very likable character. Yeah, a lot of people love her a lot, and I can definitely see why. Very, very interesting character, and yeah. I did just look at her support too, because I remembered that her support was important, so yeah, I wanted to look into it before this video, and yeah. It was also a really good one, to be honest. The Alir support in general is actually good. Like, yeah, she was thinking of revealing everything to Alir because she felt guilty that she was hiding something, but Alir was like to Yunaka that she should take her time and only do it when completely necessary, which yeah, that's happens to the support, so yeah. Again though, yeah, I definitely come to appreciate Yunaka's character quite a bit, so yeah, even though I think the other thief is probably cooler, yeah, Yunaka's just, you know, a great character, so yeah, definitely one of the more memorable ones, in my opinion. I can definitely see why she's so popular, and yeah, I think it's about time that she gets like added to heroes, and yeah, who knows, maybe she'll also become pretty popular in Seadall, I guess we'll find out. But yeah, that's Yunaka. So yeah, overall, I think she's a fine unit. You could have to use her if you really want, but yeah, just keep in mind she will be a thief for a long time if you want to reclass her, because she needs to be level 21 and she starts at level 6. But yeah, as a thief though, she does have the fog machine build on this side, and that's a very effective build. And yeah, you can definitely find a lot of ways to make it work. And yeah, it was a fun build to make use of when I've used it. And a character is definitely one of the most intriguing in the game to learn about. It's also one of the darker ones, to be honest, as well. And I think that's another reason why it's super memorable as well. So yeah, great character. And a pretty good unit as well. So yeah, overall, yeah, Yunaka's a great character. So anyway, let's move on to our next independent unit for today. Let's move on to John now. So John is one of the two early game units that are like really high growth and high investment kind of units. John is unique in that regard because yeah, how his personal skill works. But before that though, on his journey map, he's pretty simple stuff. He can heal for you a little bit, and that's really it after he gets recruited. Yeah, you kind of just have to make sure he's safe, and then you're all good in that. And yeah, it's actually in a parallel they need to get, which is kind of interesting, but yeah. So he's basically like Donald. In fact, there's actually quite a few similarities with Donald too, when you think about it. Both are very young boys with black hair. They both wear hats. They're both low base stat, high growth units that joined pretty early in a parallel. And both have a very distinct voice as well. In Donald's case, it's like a very, I don't know what the right word is, but it sounds like a very stereotypical American kind of voice. And then for John, it's a British accent. That's what he has, so yeah. But yeah, let's go on to how he works as a unit. First off though, the important thing we need to talk about though is actually his personal skill, because it basically tells you everything you need to know about. And that personal skill is called expertise. So how this works is that it's kind of similar to Aptitude, but it works a little bit differently. Basically, what it does is that it doubles his class growth rates. That's how he gets boosted growth rates. His actual growth rates are on the lower end, to be honest, but he makes up for it with the fact that, yeah, he has double class growths, and his base Martial Monk class does take good advantage of this. He gets a really good magic growth because it starts with a 25%, which then becomes 50%. And then you add on his 20% and then it becomes 70%. So yeah, that's basically how it works. Let's go over all his growth rates as a Martial Monk. 50 HP, 40 Strength, 70 Magic, 35 Dex, 40 Speed, 45 Defense, 60 Res, 45 Luck, and 5 Build. Yeah, pretty good growth rates. But again, he is a level 1 unit, but it isn't too hard to train him. At this point in the game, you're gonna get Micaiah. And Micaiah can use Great Sacrifice to some good effect with him, so yeah. So yeah, it's pretty easy to get him up there, and then once he's promoted, he will be doing quite well. He really appreciates the added growth rates that the promoted classes get, so yeah, it definitely helps him out a little bit there too. We'll go over his promoted classes now, real quick. So Martial Master, also got some pretty good growth rates on it. Pretty similar to Martial Monk, just like a few, like some increase of bulk here and there, just like with Fram. You get 60 HP, 40 Strength, 60 Magic, 35 Dex, 40 Speed, 55 Defense, 70 Res, 45 Luck, and 5 Build. He is actually fairly bulky in this class, which is probably a good thing because yeah, it is a key adept class. So he can Chain Guard, and then yeah, he won't be dying right after that probably. So yeah, and yeah, it is expected he'll have some good level ups under his belt at this point. So yeah, even though he does have some pretty low base stats, obviously, because he is supposed to be a growth unit. But yeah, it's a good class too. He does have really high growth rates, so yeah, he should be able to get a large strength of magic, hopefully, and then yeah, he'll be able to do a lot of damage with the arts, especially Flashing Fist art, obviously, because again, I keep saying that it's a very good art, and it really is. So yeah, it makes John, yeah, a pretty good use of this class, because again, he has really high growth rates, and yeah, it is a class that needs a lot of stats, because you need a lot of strength of magic, so yeah, you can definitely make this class work, and of course he gets the Staff Utility too, which is quite nice. Look at his proficiencies. He does have like a normal proficiency in magic. I wasn't really doing a good job distincting, but yeah, he has the blue proficiency in Fist, so he does get an extra Fist strength as a High Priest, which does seem like the class he wants to go to, but again, it's just an inferior Sage. It does have the same... Actually, I don't think it does. I think Sage does have slightly higher magic growth, so yeah, you probably want to go with that, because yeah, that's a 10% difference with him. But yeah, let's go for that now. So yeah, High Priest of course is 50 strength, or 50 HP, 20 strength, 70 magic, 35 dex, 50 speed, 25 defense, 80 res, 65 luck, and 5 build. So yeah, you could use this class, but again, I feel like it's outclassed by Sage, because yeah, Sage is very similar. He got a good staff rank with that. He'll have a good staff rank anyway with Sage, and then yeah, he'll be really good with magic. And yeah, he's gonna have a slightly increased magic growth there. I think he can go up to 80% thanks to his personal skill, obviously. So yeah, I think it's the best way to go if you want him to be using magic. But of course, thanks to his good growth rates, it basically means that any class that has some good class growth is good for him, which is most of them, to be honest. Like Warrior has really good strength and speed, Wyvern is pretty good in the strength and defense, 2020 I think it gives. Mage Knight's really good too. Yeah, basically any like already good class with some good class growth, he'll do well. So yeah, it doesn't really matter that he won't have the web ranks either, because again, fixed over ranks, that's definitely something good that Engage has. So yeah, John, very fun, flexible unit. I really want to use them too, because again, I do like these units, they're pretty fun. So yeah, once they get going, and yeah, it was definitely fun to see what his potential was. And yeah, I do like how his personal skill acts. It basically means that yeah, any class you can actually function pretty decently in, so that's pretty cool. Let's go on to his character then. So his character is a very simple one, but like Boucheron though, it's very down to earth. He just wants to be a good doctor, so yeah. likes to talk about Mercy in a lot of his supports, but yeah, there's some other good supports too, like with Zelkov, where Zelkov basically tells him to write to his mother a lot, which relates to Zelkov quite well because Zelkov misses his parents. I think they died. So yeah, I think Zelkov's just looking out for him there. It's a pretty sweet support, to be honest. So yeah, so that's definitely one of my favorites of John that I remember. So yeah, other than that though, yeah, like I said, he is looking out for the other people as medicine. Like he's either looking for medicine or he's like giving medical advice. Like with Chloe, for example, Chloe, because she eats all that weird folk food, she's a bit worried about what it could do to her stomach. So yeah, that's why he's kind of looking out for her. So yeah, you can support him actually, but yeah, it won't. It's far from romantic. And in fact, they did make a small change in the localized version. He doesn't put on the ring in the localized version. He just holds the ring because again, he's 10 years old. He is the youngest unit in Fire Emblem, in fact. He actually beats Sarah, who used to be the youngest unit. So yeah, yeah, that's a little weird, but anyway. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Like I said, it's a very down-to-earth character, but what he does do is really good from what I remember. So yeah, with his like supports and stuff, and again, yeah, his British voice though, yeah, that is definitely pretty cool to hear as well. I'm British too, but yeah, my British accent is a little bit different. So yeah, but yeah, that's John. Like I said, very fun unit that can work in a variety of different classes, which is really cool. And yeah, I would say magical classes are the way to go because again, magic is really useful in this game. So yeah, I recommend probably going Sage or Mage Knight. Actually, I should mention another. I didn't really talk about emblems to be honest, but yeah, I think it's pretty simple. Just do whatever he needs in his class. He goes into such a large variety of classes that yeah, you can do a lot of fun things with it. Like yeah, of course, the magic classes. Of course, he wants something that boosts magic, like Celica, for example. And then physical classes, of course. He should be fine, I think, on both strength and speed. But yeah, whatever he needs more, you can obviously focus on. I should mention one really cool thing that I was told about. It's a halberdier build with Veronica. Veronica is able to summon people with the engage attack. Basically summon a free unit. And one cool thing you could do with halberdier is that it has its class skill basically allows it to get a free follow-up if you surround the enemy on both sides of it. And yeah, John could use the summon the unit to yeah basically create the body for him to get that pincer attack off. It's a really intriguing build, and yeah, the class does suit him quite well too. It can allow him to mix attack, and yeah, he does at base he does have 20-20 for strength and magic, so yeah, he can go either way basically. It's a very fun build that I've heard. I think when I use, I'm probably going to go to magic classes again. I feel like that's going to be the most useful. And yeah, it might open up some fun things. Like I've also heard about a fun Axe Mage Knight build that makes good use of Camilla as well. So yeah, again, this guy is definitely very versatile thanks to his actually pretty good puzzle skill. It doesn't do anything outside of increase his growth rates though, so once he's grown a lot, it won't do anything, but I think that's fine. It's a good trade-off for his highest stats, I guess. So yeah, that's John. I think he's a really cool unit again. I don't know if he's my favorite of these like early game growth units, because Donald was pretty hilarious. It can also earn you money as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, but yeah, again, John is definitely a cool one, and yeah, I like the dude a lot. So definitely want to use him in the playthrough as well. So anyway, let's go on to our next unit for today. Let's move on to Anna now. And yeah, one thing I forgot to mention with John though is that he's like the independent unit for Pyrenees. For Anna, it's actually Illusia, so yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about Anna. So as a unit, she's a very strange one. She struggles in the joining map because her base stats aren't very good, so yeah, she's gonna struggle to kill enemies on the map, so yeah, she's definitely gonna need some help to get going. And become a good unit, but then you'll realize, yeah, this is a very strange unit we're talking about once you look at the growth rates. So let's go over that. So as an axe fighter, her starting class, she has 80 HP, 35 strength, 50 magic, 55 dex, 60 speed, 25 defense, 35 res, 45 luck and 10 build. So yeah, it is cool that she's an axe fighter, kind of like the Anon heroes. But yeah, one weird thing on those is how absurdly high her magic growth is. It's actually one of the highest in the game, if not the highest, because Axe Fire gives no magic, as you would probably expect, so yeah, that 50% magic is all on her, so yeah. You might be wondering why on earth is she an Axe Fighter in that case. Yeah, this feels like one of those units that might benefit from being reclassed into another class, but we'll stick with this for the time being. But yeah, of course, she's a growth unit. To get her to promotion, of course, you can do something similar to John, of course. She can use Great Sacrifice as well, and then once she's promoted, things will be a bit easier for her. But yeah, she can promote into Berserker and Warrior because she's an Axe Fighter. As a Berserker, she'll have 85 HP, 45 Strength, 50 Magic, 55 Dex, 60 Speed, 25 Defense, 35 Res, 45 Luck, and 50 Build. Sounds interesting, but again, Berserker suffers from its kind of bad stack caps, and also the fact that there aren't very good magical axes for to use. The only one you're going to get is Hurricane Axe, which is a smash weapon, so it does have up to range. But you may notice that she actually has the bow proficiency, the blue bow proficiency in fact. So yeah, it definitely seems like her more of a calling is with Warrior. So I'll go over the growth rates there, which is 80 HP, 35 strength, 50 magic, 60 dex, 65 speed, 30 defense, 40 resistance, 45 luck and 10 builds. So yeah, the idea here is that you want to use the Radiant Bow. It's a magical bow, obviously, so yeah, with a really good amount of might. So yeah, even though Warrior, of course, doesn't have a very good magic cap, she will be able to do a lot of damage with this, because again, 50% magic grip is really nice, so yeah. And of course, she'll have axes and other bows to be able to deal with the higher res enemies. So yeah, I think that's how they probably wanted you to use her. And of course, it is a pretty solid backup unit, because yeah, you can use longbows with it as well for the backup utility. And then, yeah. Again, I think it's a pretty solid class rep. I think her true calling, of course, are the magical ones. 3 in particular, actually. And yeah, I haven't actually talked about personal skill yet, but I'm going to talk about it when we talk about the third class. But anyway, Mage and, or yeah, the Mage classes basically. Sage and Mage Knight. Honestly, Sage gives the highest magic growth in the game at 30%, so you get 80%. So yeah, of course. And 80% magic growth is extremely nice, especially in a game like this. So, and the speed isn't too bad either. So yeah, that means that yeah, she's gonna be a pretty decent killing machine. And yeah, there are definitely a lot of ways you can do it. You can go about this. I haven't really talked about one thing, and that's the Olin Bond Ring. That's a really good one for a mage. I think I might save that for when we talk about Citrine. But yeah, there's a lot of magical builds you can make good use of. Like most mystical stuff will be good for her. Like, yeah, Corrin's a good example, of course. Corrin makes those Pillars of Flame, so you got a good support unit on your side. Byleth is a fun one because of the Versus. That increases the range of your magic. That's a very good option for her too, without really high magic. Yeah, all that's good. It's just that, yeah, there's a very good magical unit that joins around the midpoint and who has extremely good base stats here. Make sure that she's doing a good job. You're using her a lot. Because yeah, that unit's a really strong one, and yeah, Anna might have a little bit of trouble like competing with him, but yeah. But yeah, she does join quite early, and then yeah, I think the only issue with this like playstyle is that yeah, her base magic is pretty low because of the starting class. Yeah, she only has like 2 base magics, so yeah, she's probably not going to be getting that much. You're going to be starting at a kind of lower number, but yeah, the 80% growth should make up for it, so yeah. And then of course, I do like Mage Knight as well. That could be a fun class as well, obviously. Chaos Style's gonna ensure that she's fast enough. And yeah, she definitely doesn't, she isn't lacking for power with her good magic growth, so yeah. Leather Sword or Tome of Choice will definitely do pretty good. I have seen her do pretty decently as a Mage Knight, so yeah, she's definitely not bad in this class either. The final one I'll mention is High Priest. Now, High Priest is not a good class, but on Ana it can become something, because it has a 30% luck growth modifier. So you can combine it with Ana, and then yeah, she actually has a pretty good luck growth if you do that, especially if you combine it with Tiki, you boost growth rates further. Yeah, she's definitely a unit who can make good use of Tiki to snowball really quick. Obviously anyone can, but yeah. She definitely comes to mind because of her personal skill. It's one of the best ways to make use of her personal skill, which is very unique to her. That would be Make a Killing, where she may obtain 500 gold when she defeats a foe, and this triggers on a luck. So yeah, you need a lot of luck on her, obviously, if you're going to make use of that skill. Pretty good, to be honest, if it triggers. It doesn't trigger often unless you go High Priest, but yeah, it does make High Priest a good option for her. And again, she can definitely fight well in that class, even though the tome rank isn't going to be very good, but yeah. So yeah, and yeah, if you have Tiki boosting the growth rates, as well as like other luck boosting emblems, then yeah, she'll be good at giving you a lot of money. So yeah, if you want to do like all the expensive forges in the world or something like that, then yeah, you definitely want to consider maybe using her. She's definitely a good unit to use in skirmishes if she's all built up with all those high growth rates, so yeah. Yeah, she can make you a lot of money doing that, so yeah. So that's cool. I don't think it's as reliable as what Donald could do in Awakening, but hey, it's not terrible, so yeah. If, yeah, a lot of money interests you, then yeah, you may want to consider using Ana as a High Priest in that case. In other classes, it's very random and unreliable, so yeah, that's why if you really want to make a killing with a Make a Killing skill, you really want that class, so yeah. Let's talk about her as a character. So yeah, she's like Ana, basically, except now she's an 11-year-old girl, with a different voice as well. She wants to make money, obviously, and do what she can to make a lot of money. So yeah, most of her supports involve her talking to the other person and figuring out how to make a lot of money with them, like Lapis support. Lapis, it's gonna make a lot of tools for her, and then yeah, she can sell them for a lot of money. I think, yeah, there's like, I think with Bunei's like chopping wood for her or something like that. Yeah, pretty simple stuff. I think the Zelkov one's pretty hilarious. Zelkov like tells Ana that he thinks that her inventory is lacking like passion and stuff, so yeah, they kind of get into a little bit of an argument over that, but yeah, I think they reconcile with that eventually, so yeah. Zelkov is just a very fascinating character, I can't really talk about it, but anyway. Yeah, like I said, pretty basic stuff. She is, well, Ana, basically, so yeah. She wants to make a lot of money, obviously, so yeah. Even like this little gremlin wants to make money too, but yeah, there's some other things I forgot to mention too. I kind of forgot about the cooking stuff, but yeah, remember when I said that Yunaka doesn't like dishes or washing dishes in a gourmet support? That kind of actually relates to how she does in the cooking. She makes such bad cooking that no one will eat it, so yeah. Meanwhile, on Ana's side, she's actually a really good cook. She makes one of the best foods in the game that's easy to make and also gives good stat boosts, so yeah, that's interesting. So yeah. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about her character-wise. Yeah, like I said, I guess one interesting thing though is that some of the emblems do recognize her. She looks familiar to the other Anas, obviously, so yeah, then they start like recognizing her and stuff. So yeah. I think she even gets like a boss quote with Veronica, because yeah, Commander Ana is kind of important in Heroes, I'm pretty sure, so yeah, I guess it makes sense. But yeah. So that's Ana, very unique unit, obviously. Really wants to attack with magical damage if she can, so yeah. But yeah, it's up to you how you do that. Do you try using the Radiant Bow with a bow using class, or do you try using tomes or 11 swords and all that? So yeah, that's up to you how you do it. And yeah, her personal skill is definitely one that's interesting, but again, a little bit unreliable unless you're using her as a High Priest. with the high luck growth that it has. But yeah. And then as a character, pretty basic stuff. She didn't like wow me too much, but I did find her kind of funny. And she did have some alright support, so yeah. So that's Anna. Yeah, let's move on to our last unit for today, and one that joins much later than all of these three, but I decided to slum in here because I thought he'd fit well here. So yeah, let's do it. Now let's move on to the unit that joins in chapter 15 much later than all the other units we talked about, and that is Seadall the Dancer. So yeah, so in this joining map, yeah, there's two things that he can do for you. You can use the Dragon Vein skill that he has equipped with Corrin. That makes some ice blocks, and yeah, he can use said ice blocks to get rid of the miasma on that map, which is useful. And of course there's his dancing, which of course is very nice. Allowing a unit to move again, which again, that's really good. Like in every other farm game, moving a unit again is very useful. So yeah, it's something that you want to try using to the to your utmost ability. But yeah, let's go to how he is as a unit now. I guess we'll get his passive skill out of the way because it's a pretty simple part of his kit, and that is Curious Dance, which at the start of the turn, he allies within 2 spaces of the unit recover 10% of the max HP. This is very similar to Azura's passive skill actually. So yeah, he's very similar to Azura in that regard, considering that she's also a dancer. But yeah, about his class 2, I guess, yeah, it dances, but it's actually a key adept class that uses arts, and he actually gets A rank in arts, so technically you can use the Flashing Fist art with him if you really want to, but yeah, he's going to be mostly dancing. So I can definitely see shielding art being good, which doesn't have the brave effect, but gives plus 5 defense, so it'll help keep him alive. And yeah, while on the topic of how he is as a unit, using his weapons and stuff, I guess I can go over his growth rates. They're pretty standard for a dancer, where he has 60 HP, 35 strength, 15 magic, 30 dex, 75 speed, 35 defense, 45 res, 55 luck, and 10 build. So yeah, you could probably use him in other classes. Those aren't terrible growth rates, but I would highly not recommend doing that. You want to keep him as a dancer, because again, that's his thing. Because yeah, denying yourself a dancer definitely is a good thing, especially because he's actually a dancer who can do a lot of good things for you, so yeah. Because yeah, the main reason why is, even though he just dances and can sometimes chain guard for you, what makes him actually pretty good is that he benefits from Byleth actually being used on him, where yeah, basically the idea is he can dance to someone, and then the Byleth user can use their dance and dance with Seadall, so Seadall can dance for another person. So yeah, that's definitely one very good thing about him, and of course he has emblems on his side too. And the most common non-DLC emblem seen used on him is Sigurd. If you don't want to use Sigurd on a combat unit, Seadall is the next best thing. Normally I like using Sigurd on combat units because again, the high movement is extremely fun, especially on a cav unit. So yeah, the Seadall is also a pretty good use of it too, because yeah, plus one movement on a dance is always great. And it also means that yeah, Seadall's also a good use of the boots as well. Which you get the chapter after you join, well, chapter before you join, which is quite nice. So yeah, yeah. It's all about movement on him, and yeah, you can engage with Sigurd and get even more movement. One thing I like doing with him as well is Camilla as well, the DLC emblem. Camilla can also get extra movement and also can fly when you engage with her. Of course, Seadall can make very good use of that as well, so yeah. And yeah, I guess last thing about Seadall and his dancing, his class skill as a dancer is the very simple special dance. Pretty much every dancer gets this as a class skill basically. If unit uses dance, he gives plus 3 dex, speed and luck to the target for 1 turn, and yeah, plus 3 speed's really nice. Especially if you are using him alongside Byleth as well. Byleth can give a lot of stats too, so yeah. Yep, Seadall as well, just a really good dancer, and yeah, probably one of the best units in the game as a result. And yeah, like I said, there's a lot of ways to make his dancing more effective. And yeah, it is kind of funny too that yeah, there are definitely some emblems he's not good with. Because of well, his dancing. You don't want to give him Byleth because he can't actually use Byleth that well, to be honest. Sure, he can go for the Goddess dance and the rallying, but yeah, if you rally though, you're denying a dance for a turn. You really want to try dancing every single turn you can, and Goddess dance is kind of a similar thing. While yeah, it does give multiple actions to other people, so it's technically better than dance. He benefits from the Goddess dance himself as a beneficiary, so yeah, he doesn't really need it. And then there's also Corrin, the emblem he funnily enough starts with. Also not really good because Corrin, you need to spend a turn to use the Dragon Vein. So yeah, yeah, it's kind of hard to recommend using Seadall with that because yeah, again, Seadall just wants to dance. So yeah, so those are some emblems I'm going to recommend on him with his playstyle. But yeah, again, very simple unit to understand. He dances, and that's what he wants to do. He just wants to keep dancing and dancing and dancing. Make sure that all their units are in a good place, and yeah. And I think, yeah, giving him Kanto is no brainer. Luckily, he does have enough starting SP for it, so once he gets Sigurd back, then yeah, you can use Kanto. And of course, he also can use Sigurd well himself, so yeah. So yeah, that's really him as a unit. Like I said, very good unit. One of the best units in the game because, well, he's a dancer, so yeah. Let's talk about him as a character now. He's, also pretty simple stuff, but he's, entertaining in his own way. He does have a really cool design because, yeah, he's a male dancer, not something you see every day. I think Three Houses is like, yeah, there are like some other refreshers who are men, like Elfin in EV6, there's Nils, there's the Herons like Rayson and Raphael, but yeah, he's actually one of the first dancers because yeah, you can make a male unit a dancer in Three Houses. He's like the first true one, I guess you could say, but yeah. And yeah, like I said, his character though, it is pretty simple stuff, but yeah, it's quite entertaining at points. But yeah, there's two main things about him. He likes, think about his cards. Yeah, basically has tarot cards. They're not actually tarot cards, but they're very much like them. And he uses them for divination, basically. So like, he asks the cards for like advice on stuff. Like, he can do some fortune telling. In fact, yeah, he has a fortune teller's service in the Somnial. And yeah, the cards are very similar to the tarot cards as well, so yeah. Which is pretty cool, because yeah, us Persona fans, yeah, we do like it when tarot cards get references and stuff, so yeah. So that's really cool. And then... and yeah, the other thing is that, yeah, he wants to stay in good shape. So yeah, he likes to use his divinations to decide what he wants to eat. This does lead to some weird moments. Like, yeah, there's the Tamura support where, like, he gets, I don't know what the right word is, but yeah, he doesn't like the sight of Tamura's actually really good food because he thinks he'll get a craving for it, and then that might get him out of shape. Because, yeah, he's very, he takes his body shape very seriously because of his profession, so yeah, he wants to make sure that he's eating all the right food for it, which does deny him what the food he actually likes, which is a little bit of a shame, but yeah, he's very serious about this, obviously. And then yeah, another weird support that kind of ties into this is the Risotto one. Risotto, of course, looks really beautiful no matter what. And yeah, Seadall's wondering how he does it, and Seadall can't find out why Risotto looks the way he does, or how he stays the way he does. Risotto just does everything normally, and yeah, that's kind of the lesson of support that yeah, Risotto's trying to do. Yeah, Risotto is kind of like indirectly showing that yeah, Seadall doesn't need to do much to stay in good shape. Again, he might be overthinking things a little bit. So yeah. Again, he's not a bad character too. I definitely do like him quite a bit, to be honest. He isn't like the most complex card in the world, but yeah, when he does have some pretty decent supports, it is interesting. And yeah, he does have some interesting modes too. Like yeah, his divination does lead to some weird moments. Like Kaketsu can see the future too, but it's not very good. um, he basically sees a little bit into the future, and while it's accurate, yeah, it doesn't really help that much. And then, yeah, there's the Amber support where he indirectly makes Amber a hero somehow um, with the Rain Dance. Like, yeah, it doesn't work out the way they think, basically. But yeah, like I said, he does have some pretty memorable modes for the supports, which is pretty cool, so yeah. I'd say, like, a lot of the supports are actually pretty good, so yeah. I definitely like that about him, so yeah. I didn't really actually talk about his backstory. I think it's revealed as Orcris support, but yeah, he used to be... he basically used to be living in a caravan, but then it got attacked and his master died, I believe, then as well. And then, yeah, he's basically been, like, continued to dance because, yeah, that's one, something he likes to do, and then two, kind of like... I think he wants to live on the legacy of his master too, but yeah. Because I think he owes him. I'm pretty sure as well, but yeah. I'm not 100% sure about that, but yeah, it is something important I should mention. Because yeah, they do reveal his backstory in some sports. I think it's also in the Elite sport too, but yeah. So yeah, overall, yeah, Seadall is just, well, a dancer. There isn't much to it other than that. And yeah, he is the independent hit for Som. Or Psalm, I should be saying. I always said Somnial. And yeah, like I said, he dances, that's really good, and yeah, there's a lot of ways you can make good use of that dancing, obviously. And then yeah, as a character, yeah, he definitely does a good job as a dancer. In his supports too, it's pretty interesting that yeah, he's very concerned about staying in shape for his profession, so yeah. And yeah, like I said, pretty cool design as well. Definitely a pretty cool dancer look for him as well. So yeah, I do like these independent units, to be honest. Yeah, most Fire Games do have units that are not affiliated with like one like unit, like the retainers in this game and then Fates. But yeah, still though, yeah, these units definitely do stand out quite well because of that, and yeah, they do have their good moments as well. So yeah, I can definitely appreciate that as well. And yeah, a lot of these units I do find interesting as well. Like yeah, I really want to use John. Yunaka's got a great character, and then Seadall's pretty great too. And then Anna, yeah, Anna's just Anna. And yeah, I can definitely see a lot of people liking her because of that, so yeah. So yeah, that's it for those independent units. So yeah, next time I'm gonna go back to talk about the the main characters, I guess you could say, like yeah, and their retainers. So yeah, next time we're gonna be going to Brodia. And yeah, things are gonna get very interesting. Next time we're gonna talk about my favorite unit in the game. So yeah, oh boy. So yeah, look forward to that, and yeah, I'll see you guys for that.